Hello. So, last episode or video that I put up, we went over this 4-piston extender, and before that, we went over this, I guess, don't know really what you would call it, I guess, jagged block extender. So, the reason for this is you might be able to see it, but it's right above me. I'm not going to look up yet. Some of you might know what this is. This was made by Seismic Sausage, and it is a tree farm. So in his tree farm, what he did is he had bone meal, of course, going into the tree, which was planted here, sapling. It would make it grow, and as soon as it grew, it would have a block update. So it's all fine. Oh, except for he did not have this part. And it would go into a big row of trees in which he would harvest. So I thought I'd give it a chance. And I got rid of that whole design where you put it up against a huge wall and then you take an axe. Because if you don't already know, I'm quite lazy. And I do not feel like taking an axe or making an axe to chop down wood. So what I did is I took his design, put it right there, as you can see. Had piston extender here. So what happens, I'm going to try to explain this. It's a auto tree farm that is harvested by TNT in this chamber. But in the process, it goes through a lot of things. So it first comes right here, and of course when it grows, it's made to grow 4 tall, except for I haven't put the block above it. I actually forgot to. Never mind. And right after it's pushed out of here, that extends. And if you've seen a couple of my earlier videos, you know that this used to be a daylight sensor smart piston, and the only reason is because I really didn't know how to do a torch as so. And this comes from Mechatronic's design, though it's my compacted version. And so the jagged extender, you might be wondering about that. Now, I've never seen this made before, but it's of my own creation. So the jagged extender goes here and extends out, which goes into a smart piston. Now what happens is this piston will extend, this one will extend down, and then it'll extend again. Push that one out. In other words, it takes 4 vertical blocks and turns them horizontal, as I can show you right now. And then a 4-piston extender, and I don't actually have the sound on, as you can see, because I do have slimes down there, though I could easily change it real quick, but oh well. And then this is the 4-piston extender, and it extends 5 times, as you just saw. There's one here, which makes 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one I had to add on right here. Now before, with my old 4-piston extender, which is this, it's extremely messy with redstone, but it only needed to be extended 4 times. So this part never existed. And that brings me to my next point. I know I'm going a little out of order, but you kind of have to have a little grasp of what all is happening. So, excuse me. Before I added this, there was a timer up here that correlated to all these repeaters. And what it does is, this is a locking mechanism that I made. And every time a tree is planted and extended, these two top pistons will extend, and this dispenser will turn off, which will not allow any trees to be grown. As you can see, the whole system's actually turned off right now, but it won't let any trees be grown. And the reason for that is when these two pistons extend, the tree can still receive bone meal and you can still waste bone meal. But onto the reason as to why these two top pistons need to be extended for a period of time is, if I actually ran into the problem a very long time ago, and if two trees grow within a matter of 6 seconds, it will not only destroy this piston right here, but it will also destroy this system right here. So there had to be a buffer, a time buffer. So what happens is, once one tree is grown, this will all go off and these two pistons will extend, and that will of course have a signal that runs through here. And what this signal does is it allows those two pistons to be extended for longer than this clock right here. Because if you have a tree growing a couple seconds after this clock is going, then this is still, everything's still going to work. So say that you have a layout like that or something, or actually it'd be like that, and then with a block there, but I don't want to update it. It will actually break this system right here. So that's where this development came from. And it's a bunch of monostables and all of that stuff. Let's see, what's so I've shown you what this does, what all this is. Let's go on to the last part of this. Now, after this activates, it actually goes into a time or a delay that of course goes to here for the 4-piston extender, and it goes to here. Now this is a binary counter, but a very simple one. It's a monostable that turns another monostable into a 2 counter, I guess. It counts up to 2. It's the exact same thing as right here, but only this block has been switched to face up. Now what this all does is, as soon as this receives a signal into this, that piston will of course grab that redstone block, and this is a hopper timer, as you probably already know, and that will turn this redstone repeater off, which will allow the block that is in here to move back and forth, which causes several pulses that will in fact extend these pistons. And the reason you want to extend those pistons is it pushes these wood blocks in a circle. As the 4-piston extender extends, it pushes these blocks around until it gets to that 8 wood block formation that you saw just before I broke it. The reason there's a hole right here is TNT drops from there all the way down to here, and it's actually smart. I've made the system smart. So TNT will only drop if there are 8 blocks here. Let's see. Okay, good. Right before I destroy my whole system on camera, I'd like to make sure that no TNT is in there. So as soon as all 8 of these blocks reach here, which is telling the system itself that it has created enough, I guess, enough trees that it's reached there. What that does is, before this was turned off, which turns that redstone torch on. So it's a triple, I don't know, is that a NOR gate or an AND gate? I don't really go with terminology when it comes to redstone. I just like to make stuff. But it does that from a signal that it gets right here. And as soon as it gets that signal, it goes up here. It activates the dispenser, which dispenses TNT, of course. And it blows, I think, the bottom 6 layers out. So there's actually a limit on what you want for this whole thing, or how tall or whatever you want it to be. But what can happen is, as soon as that blows out, now the reason it has those 3 piston AND gates is if TNT hits here and only 7 blocks are not destroyed, then it's going to wait for this one to be put back like that to activate again. Now, it's most likely going to destroy more blocks, and it's not going to ever get to the point where this system is just going to shut down. But if it does shut down, and it won't keep blowing it up because for some reason it got stuck. Oh, and you can actually see the 2 pistons that are extended from me doing that. And it's got did I make a clock? I think I just made a clock. Get out of here. Okay, so it looks like it has one problem that I never figured out. Huh. I didn't know it could make itself a clock. Oh, no, it shouldn't make itself a clock. The only reason it made itself a clock is I removed those blocks. Here, let's put the blocks back, and it will stop making itself a clock. What it does is, when those blocks are there, of course, it comes over here, it inverts all the signals, and then it locks this piston. So even if this made itself a clock, what? Okay, even if it made itself a clock, it's not going to function as a clock. There we are. So after these 3, it should be done. But it's... oh. Yeah. So you don't want to do that, which also makes a clock. But after that's done, okay. So what that TNT, when it's activated, what it will do is it will shut off the clock, and it will extend all 4 pistons so that you cannot plant. And that's a safety measure, because I've actually found a little glitch without that, where if you don't have it and a tree plants and grows, if it's extending while the TNT is going off, it has a minor chance of catching the TNT. So it has a minor chance of catching it on the lip right here. If it catches it on the lip, well, you can kiss the top part of this goodbye. It will blow up. And for that reason, I've actually had it blow up before I could make this, which is just, I guess it's just a safety precaution in case it decides to blow up again. But I think I've gone over what it all does. It's almost done. The only reason I'm saying it's not completely done is I want a more compact way for this 5 pulse and this clock that runs longer, or this 1 pulse that runs longer than this whole thing itself. I think this is probably the closest anyone's ever gotten to a fully automatic tree farm. And then of course when everything blows up, there's a hopper minecart which has a hopper right there, and of course from there you can put a chest in it. And as you can see, I have done tests. So I guess thank you for watching. Tell me what you thought about the design. If you have any ideas on how I could do this that's not a hopper timer. I've actually already tried a hopper timer in this design for this clock right here, and it doesn't work unless I did it wrong. But thank you. Goodbye.